I grew up in a household of 4 kids, 3 boys and me. We were mainly focused on education, and family-wise, just education, which I think now, we hated it before, but now I think it actually made sense. Moved through school, high school, and then I decided to leave the country to go into the United States. Did undergrad there, Pittsburgh. And through undergrad, I also did a double abroad. Went to China for a semester and did political science. And then I decided that I want to go into dental school. Apparently, I wanted to do that since I was 12. I didn't know about it, but family saw a journal and it had stuff that, hey, I wanted to be a dentist. Being in dental school, we started doing relief work, which I would say impacted my journey a lot. We went to underserved areas. We went to Jamaica, we went to Belize, and then later on, I finished dental school, but I kept that aspect going forward. After dental school, I came back to Kuwait and worked for almost 2.5 years. Then I decided I needed something else because I didn't want to be stationary, didn't want to get bored with what I was doing. Not that it was boring, but moved on and decided that I want to do either surgery or periodontal surgery, which is pretty much surgery of the gums. And I did apply for oral surgery, which is head and neck. Did not get in. And that's one of the things that I was like, okay, should I get discouraged or should I move on to try something else? My other option, which also is a great option now that I know that I'm in it, was doing the periodontology. Moved on, went into school, ended up in University of Southern California, did 3 years of residency, got to know more people, which that impacted also my life. I made sure that I don't just get to know the same people that I knew from before, however, get to know a lot of people from other parts of the world. Started teaching at the university there in California, and worked also outside to get another perspective of how things are run other than in Kuwait. Decided to come back. I chose to get away out of my comfort zone and go into a work environment which is a little bit different than what we grew up in. Ended up going to a place, it's Jahra City. One of the reasons obviously going there is because of the environment. It's actually one of the greatest hospitals as in like the governmental sector in Kuwait. And the other reason was for me pretty much to get out and see the community of Kuwait, because we grew up in a certain way and in a certain environment, and that was to me more fascinating, getting to know the people there, working with the people there, and so far it's an amazing experience. And it gets you to realize that it's not what is in your head is actually everywhere else. No, it's totally different, and accepting and being more aware of the different cultures within one culture. Within those years since I got back, which actually I would say I got back into the country in end of 2013, and more opportunities came up, and I started also working in a private sector, and an opportunity came in to actually manage that place, which to me was extremely I was hesitant at the beginning, I must say, because I wasn't sure if I had enough background in it, and being younger than the people there or almost the same age, how am I going to run them, I decided to take up that opportunity. And also as a woman in the field, it was different. I think the people that had hired me, I think that they were a little bit more, okay, I'm not aware or not comfortable maybe because you're a female and it might not be, or I might be emotional and mix emotions with the work and not be able to lead. But I think they realized a different perspective since I started. It's still new, I'm still learning. I would say it's a journey for me. And other than that, the other part of my life, I started up a small company back in 2008. It was the time where I used to go to work wearing scrubs, and it wasn't that common in Kuwait. And a lot of people used to call it pajamas. The doctor, I want the doctor who's wearing pajamas, which was funny. We decided, me and another partner of mine, that why not make a scrub company that is actually locally made. So we started very, very small. We actually got the material from Kuwait, found someone to make it for us. It's all local. And then we started up in Beddiva. It's like a place where you can showcase your things, and slowly advertised for it. It went well. We started refining, choosing better material, and now it's 2015, and we do have a small shop, smaller, and we're still keeping it very local. And but hopefully one day it's gonna boom and become bigger. My favorite part of what I do is the relief work. Continued on to do more of relief work in Panama, Haiti, and I joined different organizations which they're called International Medical Relief, and they do have a lot of trips going on, and I joined them as the dentist of the trip. Other than it being rewarding, the nice thing is focusing on the people themselves. So you're there for a certain amount of time, and you're not thinking about anything that has to do with you, which is excellent. It's extremely rewarding. Future-wise, the journey will continue, inshallah, and my goal is to create a society which goes on to relief work both in the Arab world and outside. I think one of them has to go back to the environment I grew in. My youngest brother always says, and I keep on having to prove myself. But I think it does matter, because I come from a family where they all challenge themselves, and I do want to keep up. But other than that, that keeps me going, because it keeps things interesting. I learn more. And I think the more you learn, the more you understand yourself. And you come to a point where you're actually more humble. The more you know, the more you realize that you don't know much. So it keeps you wanting to just listen, learn, and move on. Like, just keep on doing a difference to the world. Not just taking, but giving a lot more. I think it started with various teachers that I personally had, and the way they teach us. It's more of, you have an educator and you have a teacher. The educator actually knows how to portray the information in a way anyone will understand it, even if it's a younger child. That, to me, made a big difference. And that by itself would put you in a mindset, okay, not everyone can teach, but some people can. And that's what I wanted to challenge. It was a challenge for me, which I took, and I started it while we were residents, but then I continued it after finishing residency. And you realize that personally it keeps you to the point of where you need to know your stuff really well, and then portray that information to others or to the students. And that always is a challenge, because you want to make sure that they're understanding it in a simple way, however they're getting the educated material in a proper way. So that's more of a giving. It's like a gift that keeps on giving, because if they learn, then you know they'll be treating every other patient properly and not cutting corners, because we're dealing with human beings, and it's you still have to respect them and their needs. So that part put me also in the situation where the giving part and going on those relief trips and just focusing on whatever environment you're in, it being extremely out of my comfort zone. The places that we stayed in was pretty much extremely poor, and you're not in any luxury of any sort. However, the reward from it and the luxurious internal feeling was extremely rewarding. The more that you see those people that walk to us from for 2 hours to just come and see us, because they don't have any medical care or dental care, so they would walk and come, and they were extremely appreciative of anything that we did. They don't even complain, even if they had pain. And that just gives you the perspective is, okay, well, there are those people that appreciate it all, and why not give them? Because they are willing to accept anything that you give them, but you yourself have to give it properly. The responsibility of it makes it exciting, and at the same time you're always on your toes. Okay, what if something goes wrong? Because you're not in a hospital setting. You're outside trying to do treatment, and they just accepting it. So that giving part is extremely important. The outcome of it just reflects in one's life in a very positive way. I don't think there's any feeling that compares to it. I would say girls can definitely do it. I don't think we need to feel that we're less in any way. In reality, yes, it is a male-dominated. A lot of males are moving forward and they're the main structure. However, I think the most important thing in our heads that we don't really always think that, okay, well, it's male-dominated, I'm struggling. No, just remove that from your head and focus on moving forward, listening, learning, talking to as many people as you can, even a poor person on the street or a bum on the street or the most educated person out there that you would meet. Anyone, like talk, listen, know yourself, challenge yourself. Even if opportunities come up and you are hesitant, still take them, because what's the worst case scenario is you say, okay, well, I'm not fit for that. But you say, I still tried it, so I know that I'm actually did it, but it's not for me. So move on and challenge, definitely challenge yourself. Keep on saying yes to things rather than staying back or putting barriers for yourself. Don't put barriers. I think it's happening. It's slow, it can be slow, or maybe in our heads we think that is slow because we don't see it right away. However, the more people get educated, the more they're aware, the more they will change. And they will affect, even if someone affects one person, there's going to be still a change because that person is going to affect other people. So change is happening, we just need to keep being positive about it and not give up. نحن قادرات طبعاً, we can do it for sure.